Hello and welcome to NDTV. Joining me is Deepika Padukone for a very special film, Chhapaak. The trailers look lovely. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
What's the feedback been so far?
You tell me.
What I personally liked, not just the scenes where she's affected and that she's so happy is what stayed with me. You know, that after all that this girl has gone through, she wants to celebrate. She is one amongst us, so she should be one amongst us. That's what stayed with me, at least.
Good. I'm glad that that's what stayed with you, because that's actually precisely why we're telling this film.
Right.
And as much as this film throws light on acid violence in our country, and the many issues that they have to deal with once they've been through something like this, whether it's financially or professionally, I think what is more empowering and the reason why we're telling this film is because of their spirit and their triumph over an incident like this, and what they make of their lives after having been through this sort of an incident, and also in the way that they inspire not just other girls like themselves, but also inspire us as society with the kind of confidence that they have, with their with the kind of spirit that they have, and I think we're telling this story specifically for those reasons.
Right. You met Lakshmi. What do you gauge from what is it about these few people that there was a choice just to go and live quietly somewhere and never come out, be inside your house? What is it that drives them to fight, to speak up, to tell their story?
I think it's really about not giving up, and that's again, the film really talks about the human spirit. Right. It talks about hope, and I think we all go through different kinds of challenges in our lives, and I think some of us tend to give up, and some of us tend to fight. Right. And I think that I think what is inspiring about this is that these are life-altering experiences, and yet I'm sure that initially it's something that takes a lot for them to come to terms with and accept. But I think once they accept the fact that now that is their reality, to then be able to rise above that, and I think that's where the spirit takes over. Yeah, that's the spirit. And that is really a personal thing that you can't force somebody to find that spirit or to find that confidence in them. Right. That's really a very individual thing, and I think that's why we're telling this story. But how they find it is not something that I can answer. Of course, right. But that's exactly what we're celebrating through this film.
Sure. What is a narration of a film like this? Are you trying to digest the story firstly because it's so moving? Are you trying to place yourself in it? What is the narration process, if you could tell?
I think, with this film, the narration process really was, having Meghna come into the office, she opened her laptop. Her body language in itself was a huge giveaway. Yeah. I felt like I was in for something really special. And in a couple of minutes, I knew I was doing this film. Yeah. In a couple of minutes, I knew I was doing this film, and it was, of course, a lot of it to do with the story that we were dealing with. But I think for me, a large part of it was also the fact that Meghna Gulzar was directing it, and I've seen her work before, and to know that she's someone who deals with complicated issues and subjects like this with a lot of honesty, with a lot of responsibility and sensitivity. I was very certain that this is not a combination that can go wrong at all.
Yeah. And at what point of time you decided to put your name with the film as a producer and back it as well?
Almost immediately after. So it's literally like she left the office, and literally that same day we called her back and said, we'd like to produce this film as well. So it was, all of it was instant. All of it was instant, and all of it is a function of the story.
Yeah. Many would say that a decision of producing a film should be from the mind and not always from the heart. Do you agree firstly, or
No.
do you think it should be a combination of both? Because at the end of the day, it's also business and storytelling.
But because I lean on the creative side of
Sure.
things, I feel like my decisions have always been creative decisions and from the heart.
Right.
Whether it is a script that I choose to be a part of as an actor, whether it is a film that I would like to produce, or if it is a business that I invest in,
Right.
they're all decisions made from the heart. They're all
Yeah.
decisions made out of gut and instinct.
Yeah.
And with very little to do with either the financial aspect of it or to do with the strategic, or I don't analyze so much. I just go with my instinct and with what I feel at that point.
Yeah. Also, do you want to tell the audience what kind of a movie it is? Of course, from the trailer pretty much gives out. We see a mix of this girl being happy. We see a mix of this girl fighting it out. There are some very important lines in the film, some very important moments in the trailer. I mean, one is, when she looks at herself in the mirror, that shot. One, that innocent kid in a garden who gets scared. Your line where "Kash acid bikti hi nahi." Could you, what should the audience expect? It's a great combination we saw in the trailer.
I don't know if I want to prepare the audience already for what they should expect. I think everything that we would like for them to see and experience is already in the trailer.
Right.
But yes, I mean, what I do want to say that yes, it is an important story that we're
Right.
telling, but at the same time, it's told in a very entertaining and engaging manner, and that most importantly, that there is hope.
There is hope, of course. That's the most important. What was the feedback from your family like? Because for example, your mom or your sister or your dad and your family, when they must have seen it, it must be a different experience for them because your family. What did they say?
Yes, I think they're slightly nervous about how they're going to watch the movie, because I think in a situation like this, it's difficult to disconnect from the relationship. It's difficult to disconnect from being the daughter to being an actor.
Right.
And I understand that. So I think as a family, it's going to be quite tough on them. But I know we will have to go through it.
Of course, it will be lovely. Also, simultaneously, along with this strong story, there's also a love story in it. Vikrant is a great actor.
Yes.
How much of that we'll get to see? He's a strong character who stands and falls in love with this girl.
I mean, Chhapaak wouldn't be Chhapaak if it wasn't for that character and if it wasn't for Vikrant specifically. And yes, it's turned out to be one of the most special threads in the film. So yes, it was always beautifully written on paper as well, but I think eventually when it comes down to romance, and when it comes across so strongly, that's really just God sent. It's not something that you can create. You cannot preempt chemistry between two people. You either have it or you don't. And so with Vikrant and me, I think we're just lucky that we have it.
Right.
And that it's benefited the film so much.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, like we would joke and say it's more a love story and less of, everything else.
Okay.
Which is also beautiful because when we look at the life of an acid survivor, we always assume for it to be a certain way.
Right.
And I feel like there are certain moments in this film that make you realize that their lives are exactly like ours. Why should they be denied a relationship? Why should they be denied love or the emotion of love? Why should they be denied jobs? Why should they be denied equal opportunities? So the film really touches upon all of these things.
Right. Is it important for you as a producer, as a person, that the story whose story it is, they should also endorse it, like it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's very, very important. And I think the endorsement for us came in two levels. I think the first time that Lakshmi walked onto set on the first day of shoot, and she looked at me and she said, I feel like I'm looking at myself.
Wow.
There is no bigger validation than that. And this is the first time I'm playing a real life, living character. So that validation for an actor is just priceless.
Wow.
She has seen the movie.
Wow.
So obviously she feels like we've done justice to the film and to the character, and it's something that she supports and that she endorses. So all of those things just really, so it's a film that I'm proud of, and a film that we're all proud of, for the fact that we've attempted it, for the fact that we've made it, for the fact that the audience today is ready to view a movie like this.
Deepika, I've interviewed you from the time of Om Shanti Om. We've seen immense growth as an actor. My question is very simple, because people will watch this and people judge very quickly, अच्छा है या नहीं है. How tough is it to get into a character like that? How tough acting is?
Look, acting it's a job, and it's a tough job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sure being a journalist is also a tough job. So I don't think it makes sense for me to sit here and talk about how difficult my job is.
Right.
But I think what is important for people to know is that it's not as glamorous or easy as it looks, and of course I can sit here, I can say it in a sentence, I can say it in words, but I think the only time people truly feel it is when they've spent an entire day with an actor on a film set.
Right.
Very often we get requests of, we'd like to come and watch shooting, we'd like to watch a film being made. And you have relatives or you have friends, and they're so excited to come and watch shooting, and then you realize that after half an hour they're really bored, and and it makes them realize the kind of hard work and effort that goes into making a movie.
Right.
So it all seems extremely glamorous, it seems fast paced, but making a movie is way more. It requires immense amount of patience. And even emotionally, you're manipulating your feelings and emotions on a daily basis. Now, imagine if I was waking up feeling really great and really happy, and then to have and go perform some of the scenes like you've seen in Chapak, that's manipulation of emotion. So you're really challenging yourself at an emotional level, at a physical level every day. And I think only people who get to see that up close and personal truly understand, what the life of an actor is, or what goes into making a movie.
Right. Every actor is different. You also, you knew you were doing this film before marriage, and then you got married. It was a different phase of your life. Then you came on a set like this. Are you a switch on, switch off person?
No, because I don't feel like when you pack up and when you go back and you have to go back to set the next day, it's not like I'm not thinking about my work.
Right.
It's not like I'm not thinking about what I've done that day and what is it that I have to do the next day. So maybe more like standby mode, but not switch off. Because yes, I certainly do activities to take my mind off my day. Okay. So whether it's cleaning, whether it's cooking, whether it's whatever activity, or just watching a TV show that's completely different from what you're doing. So I definitely try and engage in activities that would probably help me take my mind off what I'm doing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that what I'm doing at work has left my system entirely, right?
Especially something like this.
Yeah, and so it still lingers. It's still very much there at the back of my head. I'm thinking about the next day's scene. You're thinking about what you've done that day. So it's not switch off.
Right. Do you, lastly, when all these requests come of shooting dekhni, are you someone who is okay with people watching?
Not really. No, not really. Because no. One is, I think there's magic in not seeing the process. I think there's magic in just seeing the end result. Even as an actor, I'm not someone who enjoys talking about my process too much. And it's also a bit of a distraction. It's like it's work. It's your office for all practical reasons. It's your office at the end of the day. So, imagine being in a board meeting and asking, if you can sit on the sides and watch what that board meeting is like. That doesn't happen. So. Yeah,
just to make people understand, this room was full of people, and I requested them to empty the room for this interview so that we can concentrate and have a conversation.
Exactly. So
great, but everything is going right for this film. Best of luck. Hope
Thank
this does
you.
very well.
Thank
And like you said, even before its release, you've got a great validation. So congratulations. for
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you so much.